Somewhere in Moscow, there's a nasal spray for anxiety. It's been prescribed for years, handed to real patients, studied in real hospitals, and almost nobody outside Russia has ever heard of it. It's called Selank, and its story is stranger than the calm it promises. So, what is Selank? How does a spray up your nose end up compared to the same anxiety pills your doctor might prescribe? And why, if it works, has the rest of the world barely looked at it? The story starts with your immune system, which is not where you'd expect an anxiety drug to begin. Deep in your antibodies sits a tiny natural fragment called tufsin. Tufsin is just a very short peptide, a chain of only 4 amino acids. The little beads proteins are built from its normal day job is helping immune cells do their work. But researchers noticed something odd. This little immune fragment also seemed to touch the brain, to affect mood, to affect calm. That caught the attention of scientists at the Institute of Molecular Genetics, part of the Russian Academy of Sciences. 2 names sit at the center of this, Igor Ashmarin and Nikolai Miasoidov. In the 1990s, their teams took that fragile immune fragment, tufsin, and rebuilt it. Here's the problem they were solving. Natural tufsin falls apart almost instantly in the body, minutes, and it's gone. Useless as a medicine. So they added a small tail of 3 more amino acids onto the end. That tail acts like armor. It stops the body's enzymes from chewing the peptide up so fast. The result was a sturdier, longer-lasting molecule. They called it Selank, a synthetic cousin of a natural immune peptide, redesigned to reach the brain and last. Now, does it actually calm anyone down? This is where it gets genuinely interesting. In the year 2008, Russian researchers, including Zozulya and Niznamov, ran a real clinical trial. They took 62 patients with anxiety and split them. 30 patients received Selank. 32 received Medazepam, a classic benzodiazepine. That's the same family as the familiar anti-anxiety pills prescribed in the West. And the finding? Selank's calming effect was broadly comparable to the benzodiazepine, but they reported without the heavy sedation and without the same worry about dependence. Think about what that would mean. Benzodiazepines work, but they can leave you foggy, drowsy, and, over time, dependent on them. An anxiety spray that calms you like a benzo but doesn't knock you out or hook you would be a genuinely big deal. On paper, that's remarkable. The researchers even suggested a mechanism. Selank seemed to nudge the brain's own calming chemistry and to affect natural pain and mood molecules called enkephalins. In plain terms, it looked like it might be working with your biology, not sedating over the top of it. So why aren't we all using it? Here's the catch, and it's a big one. Almost all of the evidence is Russian, published in Russian journals, run by Russian teams. The rest of the world has barely tried to repeat it, and in science, repetition is everything. A result you can't reproduce in another lab, in another country, is a promising claim, not a settled fact. The trials that do exist are also small. 62 people is a start. It is not proof for millions. And there's a language wall too. Much of the research is published in Russian, which means most Western scientists never even read it. So Selank lives in a curious gap, approved and used in one country, almost invisible everywhere else. Let's be clear about the status. In Russia, Selank is an approved medicine for anxiety. Outside Russia, it's a different animal entirely. It has not been approved by the United States Food and Drug Administration or by Health Canada. What sells online in the West is an unregulated research chemical, not a prescription. This is a science story, not medical advice. Nobody here is telling you to use it or how. The point isn't the spray bottle, it's the puzzle. Because Selank forces an uncomfortable question. What do you do with a treatment that looks real but was only tested on one side of a border? Is it a genuine breakthrough the West simply ignored? Or a promising idea that never faced the harder, larger trials that turn hope into medicine? The honest answer is, we don't fully know yet. And we don't know yet is one of the most important sentences in all of science. Here's the part that hints at something bigger. Selank was not a one-off. The very same institute, the very same scientists, built a second peptide too, Ashmarin and Miasoidov. A different fragment, a different target, aimed not at anxiety, but at the brain after a stroke. 2 peptides, 1 lab, 1 quiet corner of science the West mostly walked past. So, back to that nasal spray in Moscow, prescribed for years, studied in real patients, and still a near-total mystery outside its home country. It's not obviously fake, it's not obviously proven, it's simply untested where the rest of us live, which points to the deeper story, doesn't it? An entire school of brain peptides, born in one Russian institute, that most of the world has never seriously examined. What else did they build in that lab? And did any of it deserve the world's attention? That's the story we'll open up next. Thanks for watching Brainstorm Bob. If this made you think, hit subscribe for more curiosity, ideas, and real answers. See you in the next one.